Hello everyone and welcome back to All Revved Up Motorcycles. Today we're taking a closer look at one of the most exciting lightweight trail and adventure bikes on the market right now. The new Hero XPulse 200 Standard. If you ever dreamed of owning a motorcycle that can tackle country lanes, green lanes, gravel tracks, mountain roads, commuting duties and weekend adventures without breaking the bank, then this could be the bike you've been waiting for. Over the next 25 minutes or so, we're going to explore everything the XPulse 200 Standard has to offer. We'll cover the history of Hero Motorcorp, technical specifications, design and styling, trail riding capability, everyday practicality, adventure potential, and why this bike has become such a global success. So grab a brew, sit back, and let's get revved up. Before we hit the trails, let's talk about the company behind this machine. Hero Motorcorp is one of the biggest motorcycle manufacturers in the world, producing millions of motorcycles every year, selling them across dozens of countries worldwide. Hero's roots go back to the early 1980s, when Hero partnered with Honda to create reliable and affordable motorcycles for everyday riders. Over the decades, Hero built a reputation for producing dependable machines that helped put entire nations on two wheels. Eventually, Hero became independent, transformed itself into Hero Motorcorp, developing its own motorcycles and investing heavily in engineering, research and development. Today Hero has a presence across Asia, Africa, South America and Europe, and their growing adventure motorcycle range has attracted attention from riders looking for simple, capable and affordable machines. The XPulse story actually begins with a Hero Impulse. The Impulse was one of India's first lightweight adventure motorcycles and gained a loyal following amongst riders who loved exploring beyond the tarmac. Hero took everything riders loved about the Impulse and created something bigger, more capable and more refined. That bike became the XPulse 200. Since its introduction, the XPulse has earned a reputation as a genuine lightweight adventure motorcycle capable of tackling difficult terrain while remaining practical for everyday riding. The first thing that strikes you about the XPulse 200 is that it looks like a proper trail bike. There's no pretending here. The tall stance, the long travel suspension, the wire spoked wheels, the high front mudguard, the bash plate, the hand guards, the luggage rack. Everything about this motorcycle says adventure. It looks ready to head off down a forest trail or disappear into the mountains. So let's dive into the numbers. Power in the XPulse 200 is a 199.6cc single-cylinder air and oil-cooled 4-valve engine. Power output is approximately 19 horsepower, with around 17.35 Newton meters of torque delivered through a 5-speed gearbox. The engine is designed to be simple, robust and easy to live with. The fuel tank holds approximately 13 litres, giving the bike impressive touring potential. And the seat height comes in at around 825 millimeters, making it surprisingly accessible for many riders despite its adventure bike appearance. Ground clearance is approximately 220 millimeters, which is excellent when the road turns rough or disappears altogether. The front wheel is a proper 21-inch unit, while the rear measures 18 inches. That's serious off-road motorcycle territory. One of the biggest highlights of the XPulse is the suspension. At the front you get long travel telescopic forks, while the rear uses a preload adjustable monoshock setup. This setup allows the bike to glide over potholes, rough roads and rocky tracks with confidence. Whether you're riding Welsh mountain roads, exploring forestry tracks, or simply dealing with neglected country lanes, the XPulse feels perfectly at home. Now let's talk about on the trail. This is where the XPulse really shines. The lightweight nature of the bike inspires confidence immediately. You don't need years of off-road experience. You don't need massive horsepower. You simply point the bike where you want it to go and enjoy the ride. The narrow profile makes standing on the pegs comfortable. The riding position feels natural. Visibility is excellent. And the bike encourages exploration. Instead of worrying about where the road ends, you start wondering what's around the next corner. Imagine riding this machine through the Brecon Beacons. The road climbs higher and higher. The scenery opens up. The tarmac becomes rougher. The weather changes every few minutes. This is exactly the type of environment where the XPulse feels at home. It's light enough to be fun, comfortable enough for distance, and capable enough to keep going when conditions become challenging. Let's talk about some of the modern features of this bike. Hero has packed plenty of useful technology into the XPulse. The bike features a digital LCD display with Bluetooth connectivity and turn-by-turn navigation. There's also USB charging for your devices. LED lighting all round improves visibility. ABS modes allows the bike to adapt to different riding conditions. These are features that adventure riders genuinely appreciate when they're out exploring. Adventure bikes need to be versatile, and the XPulse manages that brilliantly. The upright riding position keeps fatigue low. The seat is designed for long days in the saddle. The luggage rack makes carrying gear simple. And the fuel range means fewer stops and more adventure. It's a motorcycle that encourages you to keep riding. In a world where motorcycles seem to be getting bigger, heavier and more complicated, the XPulse goes into the opposite direction. It's simple, it's approachable, and it's fun. It reminds us that adventure isn't about how much power you have. Adventure is about where you're willing to go. And this bike feels it was built with exactly that philosophy in mind. The Hero XPulse 200 Standard proves that adventure motorcycling doesn't have to be expensive or intimidating. It's lightweight, it's capable, it's practical, and it's packed with character. Most importantly, it's a motorcycle that makes you want to ride. Whether you're exploring green lanes, commuting through town, heading into the mountains, or setting off on a weekend adventure, the XPulse is ready to go wherever your curiosity takes you. One of the most interesting things about the Hero XPulse is how it reminds us what motorcycling is really all about. Sometimes the motorcycle world becomes obsessed with bigger engines, more horsepower, more electronics, and ever-increasing complexity. But then a bike like the XPulse comes along and reminds us that adventure isn't measured in horsepower. Adventure is measured in experiences. It's about discovering roads you've never ridden before. It's about finding viewpoints you've never visited. It's about turning down that unknown lane just to see where it leads. And that's exactly where the XPulse thrives. You don't climb aboard this motorcycle worrying about performance figures. You climb aboard wondering where you're going next. And for riders here in Wales, the XPulse feels like it was built specially for our roads. Think about some of the incredible routes we have available. The Black Mountain Road, the Gospel Pass, the roads around Llynbrian, the mountain roads above Tregaron, the sweeping bends of the Brecon Beacons, the coastal routes of Pembrokeshire. Many of these roads can be rough, uneven, and unpredictable. That's where the long suspension travel and lightweight chassis really begins to shine. While some larger motorcycles can feel intimidating on rough surfaces, the XPulse simply takes everything in its stride. The bike feels eager, playful, ready for whatever lies ahead. One thing that many riders don't talk about enough is confidence. A motorcycle that makes you feel confident is often far more enjoyable than one that simply produces huge power figures. The XPulse is one of those motorcycles. Its manageable weight and friendly nature encourage riders to try new things. Maybe that's your first gravel road. Maybe it's your first green lane. Maybe it's your first solo adventure ride. The XPulse feels like a motorcycle that wants you to succeed. Every mile helps build confidence. Every ride encourages exploration. And that's a quality that's difficult to measure on a specification sheet. Let's take a closer look at some of the details that make this motorcycle stand out. The front beak gives the bike that classic rally-inspired appearance. The tall stance immediately identifies it as an adventure machine. The compact rear section keeps the design purposeful and functional. The graphics are modern and sporty, and despite being a relatively affordable motorcycle, it looks every bit the genuine adventure bike. Park it beside much larger machines and it still has a presence all of its own. People immediately recognize what it's built for: adventure, exploration and freedom. There's something incredibly satisfying about simple motorcycles. Turn the key, press the starter, select first gear and go. No complicated menus, no endless adjustments, no distractions. Just you, the motorcycle and the road ahead. And the XPulse captures that feeling perfectly. It reminds many riders why they fell in love with motorcycling in the first place. That connection between rider and machine remains at the heart of every great motorcycle experience. Picture the scene. It's Friday afternoon. The weather forecast looks promising. You've got a free weekend. A small bag is strapped to the rear rack. The fuel tank is full and the mountains are calling. This is exactly the kind of scenario where the XPulse comes alive. Its comfortable riding position makes longer journeys enjoyable. Its economical engine means fuel stops are infrequent. Its suspension allows you to explore roads that other motorcycles might avoid. And perhaps most importantly, it encourages a sense of adventure every time you throw a leg over the seat. Adventure motorcycling doesn't require crossing continents. Sometimes adventure is found just a few miles from home. A hidden reservoir, an abandoned railway, a forgotten castle, a mountain viewpoint, or a remote village. A winding road you've never travelled before. The XPulse feels perfectly suited to these discoveries. It transforms ordinary rides into memorable experiences. And that's one of the greatest compliments you can pay any motorcycle. Another fantastic aspect of the XPulse ownership is the growing community surrounding the bike. Across the world, riders are sharing adventures, travel stories, modifications and trail riding experiences. It's a motorcycle that attracts people who genuinely love riding, people who enjoy exploration, people who appreciate practical adventure machines. Whether you're a new rider or a seasoned motorcyclist, you'll find plenty of fellow XPulse enthusiasts who share the same passion for getting out and enjoying the journey. Every great motorcycle develops a personality. Some are racers, some are tourers, some are cruisers. The XPulse feels like a travelling companion. A machine that's always ready for the next adventure. A motorcycle that's happy on the daily commute, but equally excited when the road disappears into the distance. It's versatile, it's capable, and above all else, it's enjoyable. As adventure motorcycling continues to grow around the world, motorcycles like the XPulse are becoming increasingly important. They make adventure riding accessible. They encourage new riders to explore. They prove that you don't need a giant machine to have unforgettable experiences. The XPulse represents a philosophy that many riders can appreciate. Get out there, explore, have fun, and enjoy every mile. Thank you very much for watching, and if you've enjoyed this review of the Hero XPulse 200, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to All Revved Up Motorcycles for more motorcycle reviews, ride-outs, adventures and first rides. And leave a comment below and let us know. Would you take the XPulse 200 on a big adventure? Where would your first ride be? So until next time, ride safe, stay adventurous, and we'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.